Hi there. If you're here, that means you want to learn how to time a song for karaoke using a program like Performance or UltraStar or fucking whatever the hell people invented nowadays. So, the first thing you'll need is two programs. First off, you'll need UltraStar Creator, and second off, you will need Yas, this boy. Links are in the description for both of those programs. So yeah, make sure you've got those. Next, you will need some files. You will need the song itself, and you will need the lyrics to the song, which we'll look up in a bit. There are other files you might want as well, such as a video clip or a cover image or a background image. These are all options. You don't have to have those. You can just have an MP3 and the lyrics and you're done. But most people, at least have a cover image for things. And you usually also have a background or a video. And sometimes both. So, let's get started then. We need the lyrics. So, in this case, we are going to time the opening song of Yakusoku no Neverland. So, Neverland, we type that in. This is the fucking fourth time I've done this shite. And then, boom, we found the opening. Right, you just go up, go to lyrical. This is what I use, this site. If you use a different site, great. Just find the lyrics. Hop over to the readable version, I assume. You want that. And then you copy the lyrics. And then you open up UltraStar Creator. You say, hey, I want to time this MP3 file. And then you paste the lyrics in there. In my case, you also remove the advertisement. Then you need to split the song into syllables. Because that is how you time things for UltraStar. You time it by syllables, so you just put your pluses at the right places. Obviously, this is better if you listen to the song, but I can't do that because I'm recording it, so that would be copyright infringement. Oops. But I will take a guess. So something like this, I think. Occasionally you also need to edit some line breaks. Also, you occasionally need to remove some fucking spaces from the end of sentences. Who the fuck? Anyway. 知る前に導火線見つけてそこに fire. Yes. Now, because otherwise it would take too long, this is all we're going to time of the song. And by time, I mean I'm just going to put the notes randomly around, and that'll be fine. Cool. Now, there's all these things here that you want to fill in. I'm not going to fill them in because the last time I filled them in, the fucking program crashed. So obviously, OBS is fucking something up, and I don't want to fucking do that, but you just put the title here, you put the artist here, you put your language, you choose Japanese or English or German or whatever the hell you're timing it in. In addition, I personally put what show it's from, and if not, then I don't put anything there, right? I put a short description, essentially, right? For a lot of them, I have like Benji's obscure indie shit, right? For my obscure indie songs that I like to time. Put your year in, genre, I don't think anybody searches by genre, but edition is nice to fill in with things that people will type in to look for the song. So the anime it's from, or whatever, just anything, right? Anything that's relevant to people finding that particular song. Then here you can select, it will auto-detect like file types that it can use. So in this case, cool, got a video in MP4, we got a cover, don't have a cover actually, or a background, but if it found JPEGs or PNG files, it would display those. in that selector box, and here is the BPM, what it thinks the BPM is, by looking at the MP3 file, which is usually correct. So, now we've got all of this. Then if you know the song is particularly fast, use this slider here to say, hey, I want it X fast. And yeah, also, the first time you start up this program, you will get this annoying fucking dude called Monty, who doesn't show up now. But you can press this button to make him go away forever. Goodbye. Out of here. Then, what you do is you time the song. So there's this giant play button here, and then you put your hand on the spacebar to be ready. Then you click play, and you just time the song, right? Blah blah blah. You listen to the song, you're like, ah yes, this is totally correctly. Yep, this is all perfect. Fan-fucking-tastic. Yep, 10 out of 10. And then once you're done with the song, it'll say, hey, do you want to try again? No, I do not. So then you save the file. Cool, great. Now, say that you're timing it and you make a mistake, right? So like, I'm timing the song. Oops, I accidentally made a mistake. I want to go back. Use the X key, which is conveniently right above the spacebar, to go back, and then you can retime it all again. And that's how you fix your mistakes. Be careful if you're backing up over line breaks, because as you can see, if you look at the text file now, you have this line here, and you have this line here, but you have this line break in the middle of them, and it's, if you can see the timestamp of it, is actually after this, and that's a problem, because it just gets confused when it's reading this file, and you don't want this. So if you're fixing things across a line break, just wipe the entire line, and then continue from, okay, now it's doing the same. There you go. Wipe like one more character back, and then you can fix where the line break is as well. And then you can just time the entire song. Cool, done. Now, I already clicked save. But I actually want a timed song real quick. Give me a moment. Great thing about having two keyboards, you can tap twice as fast. So great, save the file. Save the file, yes, of course I want to replace it. And then this little button here lights up. If you have YAS installed, then you can hit this button to automatically open it in YAS, which is what we use to edit the file. We use this to create the file, and we use this to edit the file. So here we have it, the file. Now, if you look at it, you see that there's a lot of gaps in between the syllables, which aren't there in real life, right? When you listen to the song, it's not like they're not like they're singing in staccato, unless they are, in which case, cool. But they usually aren't. So that is where YAS comes in very handy. The first thing I usually do is I select the entire song by hitting Control Page Down. As you can see, entire song selected. Then I extend the duration of every single syllable. And then I go through the entire song line by line, see if I did everything correctly, move it around a bit. Usually the entire song is out of sync by a couple of beats or a couple of subdivisions, in which case you need to just Control Page Down, move the entire song back and forth, or what is more preferred is you go into here and you move the gap back and forth. That is preferred because that way you don't get negative timestamps, which performance does not like. Now, you may be asking yourself, but how do I do all this magical stuff like moving notes around and making them longer? Well, let me give you a nice tutorial on YAS. So here we have a delicious 20 subdivision long note. Well, what are we going to do with this? Now, as you can see, we have selected it, which you can see here by this being selected, and also by this being blue-ish, whereas these are not blue.